Hello everyone, and welcome to Class Time 15. Yay, class! Sorry about not having one last week. I just had a bunch of things go on that I had to take care of. And if you were here on Friday, you'd understand what happened Friday. Well, Wednesday technically. It was not my favorite day. Anyways, let's move on from not so happy stuff. You may notice my hair is now black. There's maybe a tint of blue later on, I don't know. Anyways, that was done for my work. So for the next 6 to 7 months, you are going to see me with a neutral hair color. I'm already missing the color. I'm the colorful person, if you haven't guessed. Well, Class 15, what is it about? Well, this time around, it's about picking the right coven if you decide to work with a coven. You don't have to necessarily work with a coven to be a witch. You can do it by yourself if you wanted to. You can be a solitaire witch. There's a lot of us out there that are. Why? Because sometimes picking the right coven is a bitch. I've been to good covens, I've been to horrible covens, and I've been to okay covens. Would I go back to the okay covens? Yes, I would, actually. They were very nice people. Would I go back to the Grey Coven? Oh, I would do it in a heartbeat. Unfortunately, they're in California and not here. Bad Coven? No. Avoid those with a 6-foot to a 9-foot broom. Let's start out with figuring what's right for you. Most of us have already done our year and a day, or if you're new to all this and using my videos for little things here and there, you will probably might still be doing, I don't know. If you started your year and a day with my videos, then you're only in, not even a year yet. But, that being said, you're in the 7-month mark if you're doing that. But, picking a coven if you want to join a coven is kind of a hard and sometimes a life-changing decision, because you may end up joining a coven that turns everything that you learned different. You may join a coven that you enjoy working with, or you may join a coven that turns you off from them forever. The okay covens, which I'll get into that one first, are ones that meet every so often, almost every once a month, and you do rituals and you pass around the responsibilities and fun things like that. Sometimes they'll have activities. The OK Coven that I joined for a while that was like that was a small one around here in Vancouver, and they were all very nice and hospitable, but a lot of them weren't. The reason why it was an okay coven, it was because we didn't always get to meet when we should have met. We pretty much had to meet up in a bar and then go from there. So there was no kids, which is understandable, but the ones that were parents with kids, unfortunately, didn't bring them around very often, and they felt bad that they couldn't have their kids experience the full thing of what mommy and daddy does, to explain what they do at home better. Which, at the same time, it's more you should teach your kids if that's what you want. What's that kissing? Leave the cat alone! I'm sorry if that got your eye bubble, but no, leave the cat alone. He's tormenting the cats. The Grey Coven I was in, and I will spout about them all the time, was one where a lot of our stuff revolved around the moon goddess Celeste. And then the holidays revolved around a lot of different deities. And it was great because it was welcoming, it was huge, everybody there was so kind. And it was just place where you could go and feel safe. The leader of the coven was one of those people who welcomed others with open arms, did not mind visitors, and helped a lot of people get their roots started. And she was one of those people who I will always refer to as one of the best coven leaders I've dealt with. I miss her dearly. I miss all of them dearly. It was an experience that I won't forget. And if I'm ever back down there, when I do go down there to see my mom, I'm going to take Soren to at least meet Sunshine, because she's one of the best people I've ever known. I don't know if she remembers me, but I hope she does. One of the main things that the coven did was they made sure we met on every full moon. They made sure that we met up on every holiday. They made sure that we all made time to be around each other. And if somebody needed help, one of them was there immediately. It was very welcoming. It was very loving. It was very family orientated. It was just spiritually, to me, uplifting to have people who cared. And it was my first experience with the coven as well. And for me, it made me want to work with other covens. What turned me off of working with certain covens, here comes the bad one, was one that I did join here after the OK Coven kind of split up. At the time, I was babysitting and nannying Kent, and it was before I decided to do everything on YouTube. And this is why I decided to do everything on YouTube. Because I would go as a guest. I did not join their coven for very good reasons. And I made that very clear to my roommate and Soren at the time. I didn't mind going to their activities. I didn't mind hanging out with them. They liked me coming with them. I understand that a few of them did see me as a member because they knew I was dominant in my roots and I wasn't going to budge when they said you need to do this, this, and this, and I told them no. One of the requirements was you had to do a year in the day through their ideas. And the leader of the coven refused to take any criticism, refused to take any help, told people that, oh, you can't meditate more than maybe 10 minutes. What? Yeah. And she's like, oh, if you're meditating more than 10 minutes, you're sleeping. It was not the kind of environment that a beginner should be around. And the way that they handled things was not well. The leader of the coven, her life as it was chaos incarnate. She was in and out of quite a few abusive relationships. Most of the abuse was her doing. But she made it out that it was the other person, and they were this, they were that. After getting contact with one of the other people at one point, I did understand, and I still understand, that what he did in self-defense. Because when somebody is beating you with an object such as a heavy metal cane, you will reach for anything you can to defend yourself. And he did. But she would always play the victim. And it drew a lot of people away after that. It got even worse when she was bringing more and more personal things into said coven. From my understanding, the coven has broken up since then. Soren stopped going under their own volition. I told them I wouldn't be attending any of the meetings with them anymore because I just did not want to be around that energy. And they agreed and just stopped going all in general as well. If circumstances hadn't arisen that did, I'm sure they would have continued going. I, at that point, was not going to. I did not like how they ran things. I did not like how it was her way or the highway. And if you had any other way, you were wrong. That is one big red flag to look for. If a covenant's like, no, any other way than what we have is wrong, you need to walk away. Most covens should be open, or may be open to new ideas. If you can bring new ideas to the table, go ahead. If you're fine with redoing your year and a day with a coven, that's perfectly okay. Go ahead and do it. I mean, if I found a coven I was comfortable with, and that was a requirement, I would do it. Granted, it'd be a year and a day learning the material they want you to learn that they go by, but that doesn't mean you have to forget everything that you go by. You can still hold your own private ways and practice in the ways that you want to by yourself, and practice with the coven as a group magical experience the way that they ask you to. Not all covens will require a year and a day with them, unless you've never done it. Not everyone will do it to begin with, but some will, some won't. Just know that if you're going to choose a coven, choose what feels right to you in here and up here. Think about what they're teaching. Think about what you want to learn. Think about what your goals are, and think about what their goals are. Always keep your eyes open for anything. Be objective. Don't be afraid to question. Some will answer your questions greatly, and some will ignore them. Some will let you come as a visitor to start with, and some won't. Some will say it's all or nothing, and some will say, try it out. If you don't like it, we understand, and have a great day. If you want to get into like certain grounded things like Gardenarianism and a few of the others that are like that, like Sylvan Living Wolf's group as well, be careful. That's up to you. You have to realize those are very solidified groups, very known groups, and they have requirements that I'm not even sure of, because I kind of stepped away from the whole coven thing because of what it did. Would I rejoin a coven? Maybe. Have I thought about making a coven? Actually, yeah, I have. Technically, my friend Leroy, me, and Soren are our own small little coven, because we're called the Nordic Three. We all have one certain Nordic god that we always use. Mine has always been Loki. His is actually Thor. And Soren's, believe it or not, is, sometimes they use Loki, but this will come as a very big surprise. They use Odin. Which, to me, is interesting, because they normally use the underworld kind of gods, and I'm surprised that they didn't go with hell. But I understand also why they didn't. But we all use at least one Nordic reference. Or two, depending. We all use at least one Greek as well, and we all use one Irish too. Soren uses the Morgan, Leroy uses Monanan, and I use Modena. Yes, my dog is demanding attention right now. That thumping is his tail against the table. The cat screwed up his collar. There you go, buddy. But there is always something out there for everyone. Sometimes you'll find what fits you right off the bat, and sometimes you'll be looking for years. Do I get to do a lot of coven work with my little coven? Not since we got married, but sometimes, yes. We try to get together on the holidays at least. Does his wife come? She's more than welcome to if she wants to start coming now. They just got married, so. Do our parents, our family, know about our beliefs? For the most part, yes. And my parents are like, good for you. We found what you like. If you go with a group, great. My mom actually went with me to one of my coven things, and she thought it was very beautiful and very well done. And she said she would enjoy to come to others and maybe start learning. Which was a very big thing for me, because that meant my mom was interested in what I believed in a lot more than I thought she would be. Soren's mother is very open to it. Leroy's parents are like, you do whatever the hell you want. But he's also he's about 35, so he's older than us. But find what makes you feel comfortable and you feel welcomed. But remember, not only to go with your heart, but go with your head. Because you always want to keep an eye out for yourself. Excuse me. You have to remember that you matter in this equation just as much as anyone else. Your opinion matters, but so does your feelings. Will you find one that works for you? You may. Will you end up being a solitary witch? You may. Will you end up being a mix of both? You may. I'm sitting right here. I'm a mix. I like to use coven work, and I also like to be solitaire. For the last year, because of things that have been going on, I've pretty much been practicing by myself. With that, I bid you good luck in your searching if that's what you want to do. You can look at Meetup, you can look for Facebook groups, you can look through whatever you're comfortable in doing. But with that, I'll say blessed be and happy trails, everyone.